Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Mili reaction. Today we have something called Gilroy from ENDER Magnolia, a game I've never heard of, and apparently this is an instrumental song from Mili, which is something I don't think I've heard yet, so that's gonna be really cool to experience. I'm only really used to hearing Kasai and Yamato doing their work together, so this might be weird just hearing kind of their musical talents used in just an instrumental way. Without the backing of Kasai's vocals, this might be an odd experience, but I'm also really hyped to see what this might do to me as a general musical experience. So I guess without further ado, let's go! Ooh. It already sounds different from their usual work. Okay, that's more similar. And now we're back to the different stuff again. What is that sample? Huh, it's like a distorted bell. The percussion is much heavier on this song than usual, too. Kind of an asynchronous little percussive thing going on there. It's almost like a shaker. It's kind of like doing its own thing, not really following the rhythm, but still on beat. Got some syncopation going on. Still weird hearing the heavy percussion. Ooh. Almost sounds a little bit like electricity on that. You hear that in there? It's like a bug zapper. Oh. That opened up. This is weird. Weirder than usual, which is saying a lot. Very interesting. We backing off now? Backed off to a 3/4. Doing a little bit of a waltz feel now. Romanticizing it a little. Oh, but the tension in that piano part. Whew. This is so weird. It's strange how samey it is compared to the usual, like, Mili stuff. Like, there's definitely similarities in there, but the way that they're approaching it is so different in the overall sound, the percussion especially. This is nuts. So I checked the credits in the description of this one, and apparently this is entirely Yamato Kasai's work, which probably makes more sense as to why it sounds notably different than usual. It doesn't have Kasai's input. I was kind of expecting it to be a little bit of both of them, maybe, like just kind of working together to make something, but maybe that lack of Kasai's input is why this one sounds so unique to itself, while of course also feeling kind of like the rest of their work because it's still Yamato Kasai, and he's probably still borrowing from a lot of the same concepts, the chord structures, the motifs that he's used to using, and that's all fine and good. But again, the difference of this one is mostly just in the pure scale of the sound. This one, while sure, Mili has also had a lot of that bigger sound stuff when they're doing their normal independent work, this sounds different for the sake that it hits a lot harder in different ways. A lot of the time with Mili's usual music, they're using the lyrics to pull the story along a little bit more, and in this one, it's entirely musical, it's entirely instrumental, so you have to figure out a different way to tell that story. And I think these giant sweeping impacts, especially the percussion difference of this one, is kind of how they're compensating for that a little bit, and how Yamato is like, hey, how do I tell a story that's as impactful while not having the vocalist or her input on the song itself? This has plenty of emotional breadth. It's very wide. It has plenty of room to mess with, but also it sounds so intimate at times, especially those piano parts at the beginning and end. Oh, like everything through here, I could feel it at the start. You're kind of like unsure, like the song is kind of making you go, maybe something's wrong here, but also it's not like too bad. It still sounds a little bit romanticized, like that whole thing of having the waltz time in there at 3/4. It's making you feel a little bit more dancey, a little bit more flowy. But during the center, especially, it had a lot more of this impact to it, a lot more of what I would call a cinematic energy, even if it wasn't traditionally a cinematic energy. It's Mili's own version of cinematic energy. It's a completely different approach. And again, while they've used their cinematic energy before, not having Cassie as a part of this changes how Yamato is doing this, and that's so neat. The fact that just on their own they are such good musicians. Yamato Kasai can produce something like this, they can compose something this brilliant that's so smooth and free, but has just as much emotional impact as something with Cassie's input as the vocalist and lyricist. And of course, I know she's also done some compositional work in collaboration with Yamato Kasai on a lot of their songs, so just having that though, just him alone doing his thing, making it sound different, is really neat to me, just being able to hear that. I don't think I've heard a song that was just Yamato's work as a composer on his own, not having Cassie be a part of it in any way, shape, or form, and that's just a neat thing to have. It's a cool, different sound that still hits on all the emotional weight that Mili usually does as a project and as a group, and yet at the same time sounds like it could have been a completely independent project by Yamato Kasai, but the fact that they put this under Mili is kind of intriguing to me. And I feel like this could have just been a Yamato Kasai project, like on the side, but maybe he only acts as a part of the Mili, and I think there's another side project that they're also doing that's like slightly different people, but largely the same concept of just a group of people making music. Point being, I feel like this could have just been Yamato Kasai, so I wonder if Mili is a little bit more his project than I know. I don't know that much about Mili's history, so I'm kind of left wondering why they put this under Mili when they could have just put it under Yamato's name if it was just him. Maybe Cassie or the other people in Mili did have an impact and did have input, but just aren't credited. There are so many possibilities there, because sometimes you just don't need to put credit, don't want to put credit for whatever reason, and you're more or less like a consultant, you know? That could very well be. So it's just interesting hearing this, because it had that sweeping emotional pressure, just like their usual work, but also it was so uniquely Yamato Kasai that approached it from a different place. It's like when they're doing Mili, they turn right, and this was Yamato turning left. It's very much like you're going in the same direction for a while, but you hit that fork in the road and you're like, oh, there's completely unique sounds to this, and you don't need to do the same thing. And they realized that and decided to put it to use. Like, we have great composers and great musicians as a part of this group. Why can't we just have them do their own individual thing and expand our horizons as a group, which is probably what they did here, and why it sounds so neat just having the one person focus on it while maybe everyone else was doing something else. It's just, I don't know what the background of this one is, but I do think it's really cool hearing this variety of Mili's sound. And while it did sound a little bit similar, having those motif similarities like I mentioned, the chords that were being used just being a little bit similar to what they did, but also unique to this song, is just neat. It's just really neat that they're able to be that flexible you might see that as like, well, aren't all professional musicians that flexible? Sure, but a lot of people can find it difficult to get out of the rut that they're in, and it's nice that Yamato clearly has this other idea for this song that wasn't just, here's another Mili song, just an instrumental without Kasai, and it sounded like it. That's not what happened here. This sounds so unique to itself and didn't necessarily, while it still did have some of that DNA, wasn't exclusively just a lyricless Mili song. So great job from Yamato's side there. Fantastic work on this one. It's really cool to hear that again. I know I've said it a few times, but I just can't get over it. It's so neat to hear this, but I'll stop yapping here. So thank you all so very much for watching. If you have anything else you want me to get to, of course, leave it down in the comments below. Or if like Totsu did, you want to guarantee that I listen to something and do a reaction on it, you can send it to me on my Patreon or my YouTube memberships. There's a tier that will force me to listen to whatever as a guarantee. No matter how good or bad it is, I will get to it. That's the point of a guaranteed request. But otherwise, if you just like this video and you want to follow me and support me for other stuff in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!